And hello, comedy fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and movie review for the brand new Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, Paul Walter Hauser film, The Naked Gun. That's right, The Naked Gun has made its return in 2025. This is basically reboot slash sequel to the original spoof comedy, The Naked Gun, of the same name. So you have Detective Drevin, who's pretty much playing the same character, but the son of the original. And he's got to do a new mission. He's got to basically figure out, like if you've seen the trailer, there's this bank robbery, and he's got to figure out, okay, who robbed the bank? And then he ends up getting involved with a murder mystery as well, and then he figures out that both crimes are kind of connected. So who orchestrated the murder and who orchestrated this robbery at the same time, he's got to figure that out. Okay, so I remember when they announced Naked Gun, I was like, okay, it's been a long time since we've seen spoof comedies. And if you don't know what a spoof comedy is basically watching live action Looney Tunes. When you have one character will just point his hand, and I don't know where coffee will come, or another hand will be here, and then another hand will come out and just give you a piece of coffee or whatever it is, and they poke fun of basically being a comedy, but it's basically a live action Looney Tunes film, I mean, not like in the vein of get hit in the head with an anvil come back, but it's just more like in the vein of comedy style of what Looney Tunes was pretty famous for. So I'm not gonna spend time talking about the plot of this film, because the plot is very simple. Liam Neeson, he's got to solve a murder mystery and a bank robbery crime at the same time, and try to figure out who's involved in both, or if they're two separate crimes, or they're together connected some way. So basically he's got to do that. And of course you have Pamela Anderson playing the beautiful blonde girl, giving us that whole old school 40s detective style of the main girl comes in for the big cases. She'll be like, oh, I need your help solving this case, and the great detective will be like, I got you, sweetheart. That kind of a stick. So we get that. Alright, so how was this film overall? I liked it. It was fun. I did laugh a couple of times in this movie. There were a lot of jokes in here that made me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. I really do like spoof comedies. I think you have to have a certain sense of humor for it. Not everybody will get the spoof comedies, and that's okay. Airplane's probably one of the most famous ones. My favorite will always be Spaceballs. And of course, we have the Vampire Sucks. Of course, the most iconic spoof movies of all time will be the Scary Movie movies. We'll get another one pretty soon, which is I think next year. Yeah. So you have to have a certain gravitas towards comedy, especially this kind of style, because comedy can hit you in different ways, but it all depends on how you feel with it. Yeah, so I thought it worked for me. It did. Obviously the plot of the film is not exactly the strongest, which no surprise, because it's a spoof comedy. So what else is it supposed to do? Have a thespian, perfect script that's worthy of the Oscars kind of a script for this kind of a film? No, but the laughs are there. The action was cool, kind of what for a spoof. There's this one scene that made me laugh so hard, and because it goes towards what today's modern day is, and it's in the trailer. It's basically where the cops have to leave their squad because something happened, in the vein of what's going on in the movie. I won't give you the context of what happens, but as they're leaving, they're leaving their headquarters, because they're going out of business, and a Spirit Halloween takes over. I thought that was the funniest part of the whole movie. If you get that reference, you know what I mean. So I thought that was fun, and I thought Liam Neeson did a really good job playing that character. He was funny, and honestly, like I said, I always bother Liam Neeson about playing basically the same character. In this one, he kind of did, but also kind of took it to a funny level, and it totally worked. He was great. Pamela Anderson's Pamela Anderson, so I'm not gonna complain about her. She's just her. You know, she didn't have to do anything except look good, and that's pretty much all she needed to do. So there was that. I do wish there were more Paul Walter Hauser. He was just in Fantastic Four. Excuse me. And I kind of wish he was, you know, in the movie a little bit more, but still very good as well. Again, the plots, whatever. But was the jokes funny? Yes, there were some jokes that were hilarious to me, and like I said, you have to be that kind of a person to actually laugh at this. If it doesn't get you, that's cool. It doesn't, no problem. It's not gonna hit everybody, you know. So just go in there if you want to laugh. Like if you laugh at pretty much anything, like I do, you're gonna love it. If you go in there, you're just gonna go, oh, I want to check out a comedy, and it doesn't grab you, then it may not be for you. But it's up to you. You can go check it out for yourself. But I do recommend checking it out. You know, it does, you know, set the stage for obviously Scary Movie next year, and of course, I think 2027 we're getting Spaceballs too. So yeah, I'm gonna be getting ready for that one because I cannot wait for the second one for that. Because the first one is still my favorite of all time, of all comedies, including Airplane, Three Amigos, and all the other good stuff. You know, but still, spoof comedies, you know, it's an art form that's hit or miss. You know, so you either got to be completely into it or it's not for you, and you know that's okay too. You know, but there are audiences for it. I'm one of them. I thought this was a lot of fun. Do I like it in the vein of the original Naked Gun? No, I think the original Naked Gun is iconic and hilarious in its own right. You know, so that pretty much helped, you know, establish what spoof comedies was. Like, even though Airplane started it, it pretty much helped boosted it to where it was, and that with that we ended up getting Three Amigos, and of course, you know, Scary Movie franchise, and now we have this. No, it worked for me. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about the Naked Gun. Are you guys looking forward to seeing it? Spoof comedies not your thing? Do you like just regular straight up comedies? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, another negative for me in here, I forgot to mention. Excuse me. There's a running gag in here that, you know, I did like it. It made me laugh. But sometimes with certain, you know, spoof comedies, when a certain gag goes over and over and over and over and over again, it kind of gets stale and dull. And that's what happened with me in this movie. There's this one gag in here, and it was hilarious the first couple of times, but then they kept running it, and I'm like, okay, can we just get to another good joke? And then it will just go back to that. Like, they'll do a joke with a prop or whatever, and then it'll go back to that main joke that just they repeated like 3-4 times already. And I'm like, okay, slow down. But still, that's my only real negative about this film. So yeah, and the third act is kind of like the weakest part. But oh yeah, there's a cameo in here that made me laugh so hard. When you see that cameo, you know what I'm talking about. It was a great cameo, in my opinion. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about it. Leave me a comment below. Let me know. And what's your favorite spoof movie? Is it this, the original, Spaceballs, Three Amigos, Scary Movie, Airplane? Leave me a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. Bigger and much. And have a good night.